Alrighty, you're going to be hanging a ceiling fan here. We bought it at a rummage sale. Here in the country I was born in, we use 14 American wire gauge on 15 amps, 12 American wire gauge on 20 amps. Black is live, white is neutral, the bare, the green is the ground. Red and blue are also live colors. However, you may find white live in a 110, 120 volt switch loop or in a 220, 240 volt circuit where the appliance does not require neutral. So I'll show you how we'll get this fan together and put it up. Okay, so we'll get all our parts out here on the floor. These are our 4 fan blades. They had already been put together with the screws. So we'll set these here. This is our glass globe, which will go over our lamp socket. This is the mounting piece that will go on the box in the ceiling. This is the canopy cover here. And this is our fan unit. And we have a blue wire, which is the live wire that goes to the light. This is the black wire that's live that goes down to the motor. And this is our white neutral for both the light and the fan, and the ground wire. And the tools we're going to need are our wire strippers, Phillips screwdriver, and our flathead screwdriver. So first we'll strip our wires here and get them ready to hook up. Our ground is already stripped, so we'll strip our white wire. I like to strip them kind of long so I can wrap the copper around the solid wire and get a nice wrap around the solid wire. So there's everything we're going to be dealing with. And here's all our screws. I put them in the motor here for our fan blades. And our screws to hold the globe on. And these are the screws that hold the fan on the bracket that I mount to the box. Alright, so first we'll take down our light up here. This is actually a wall light, but we only put it up temporarily until we got the ceiling fan we wanted, and it's the only thing we had in the storage room. And we'll save this light, of course, and we'll be putting it up somewhere else. take our ground wire off our green screw here. Undo our ground wire here. Undo our white wire, our neutral. We'll just put our green screw back in the bracket here so we don't lose it when we want to put this wall light back up somewhere. Okay, so this is the first part we'll be putting up. And I like to use washers to get a little extra support, so I'll put a washer in here. We'll get this fastened up to our ceiling here. So we'll stick our wires off to our side here so we can hook them up. So I've had the screws in here so I don't lose them. One goes on each side. This holds the fan on the bracket. That has rubber here and here for a little extra. Okay, so we'll help prevent it from vibrating and rattling. So we'll set it in here like this. Push it over, bring it over this way. It sits right in that little, see how it sits in there? Now we'll screw our fan tighten up here. And our other screw goes over here. One, two. Now we can hook our wires up. So we'll take our green ground wire, and this is our bare wire for the ground. We'll get our strands in here. We'll wrap it around, get our strands wrapped around our solid wires there like this. Make sure the copper's even at the end. Stick our wire nut on here. Get on there nice and tight. Okay, now we can fold our ground wires into our canopy here. Okay, now we have our white wire, which is our neutral wire. Okay, I'll get our insulation even here at the bottom. Wrap our strands around our solid wires like this. See how they're wrapping around? Get my copper even at the bottom. And I'll take my orange wire nut. Make sure my insulation goes up into the bottom of the wire nut. I'll just twist it on. And we want it to look like that. Now we can fold our wires back over into our canopy here. Now we have, since this fan is only controlled by one switch, we have one black wire that's the power. So we're going to take and we're going to put both our black and our blue together on this one wire. So I'm going to take a yellow wire nut because there's two wires here. So I'll take my blue wire, get our copper insulation even at the bottom like this here. Wrap my strands around my solid wires. There's my blue one. I'll do the same with the black wire. Get the insulation even at the bottom. Wrap my strands around the wires there. Now that all the copper is even at the bottom and our insulation is even at the top, see how they're all nice and even? You can zoom in. I'll put my wire nut on, make sure my insulation is going up into the bottom of the wire nut. Just make sure it's going on nice and tight. And how lovely it broke. Strands broke off from the wire nut. So I'll just use another orange one here. And let's make sure it's all going to fit. Okay, it's all nice and fit tight. We have a good connection. This orange wire nut's a little bit bigger than the other one. So now we get this wire folded into our body, up into our canopy here. Bend it over a little bit here. Make sure all our wires are all up and out of the way and not touching. We don't want them to rub on top of the motor here. And just look, make sure all our wires are all up above everything here. Now we're ready to put our canopy up. Get everything all nice and up out of the way there so that they're not going to rub on top of the fan. take our canopy screws out. I don't like how it's sticking close to the ground wire there, so I'm going to push this over this way a little bit more and tuck it in over here. There, now it's tucked up better, it's away from everything. And no wires are going to rub anywhere on top of the fan. Stick our canopy up here. One, two. Now this fan here, this switch is for clockwise and counterclockwise turn of the fan. This one turns on and off the light, and this one turns on and off the 3 speeds of the fan. So now we'll put our blades up. So we'll take 2 of our screws out of here. I'll put the screws in so we don't lose them. Screws in the fan blade like this. You leave the first one a little loose so that you have, in case you have to move it back and forth. Take our second 2 sets of screws out. this one's tight. Okay, now we'll finish this one. Make sure it's tight. The fan blades could have been put on either way. And they just wanted the white side down, so. One. Two. I'll make sure I get that one. Make sure your blade is on there tight. Okay, now our final step is putting the globe on. Make sure it's nice and snug, and now we're ready to try it out. Now get the fan more in the middle here. We'll put a light bulb up here and see how this lights up. That one's the fan. Alrighty, that is how to install a ceiling fan here in the country I was born in. Peace. Thanks for watching.